there's loads happened every week. You know, we've had the Epstein files, we've got Keir Starmer, you know, hanging on by his fingertips. So we will answer and get into everything. Obviously, Rupert Law and the rape gang inquiry has been eye-opening, to say the least. And watching how the media's portraying certain stories and not portraying other stories is really, really interesting. Obviously, you can see why they want social media shut down, can't you?
Yeah, fucking hell.
My God. If it wasn't for, you know, social media, really, what would we be getting told? What would we be seeing about some of these things that, let's be honest, these were thought of as like extreme edges of the Tinat community, the conspiracy theory, you know, that there was people ordering children and dressing it up as pizza. There was people, you know, drinking people's blood or injecting into them full of adrenaline.
Adrenochrome.
It was almost like a vampire movie, kind of Bram Stoker stuff. And then you find out that, you know, these sick, deluded individuals amongst us, obviously, have been getting away with stuff for a long, long period. Who knows how far into the past this goes? Because if it wasn't for, as I say, for social media, the internet and email chains and mobile phones, etc., you know, there's probably been many, many iterations of these powerful compromat intelligence agency evidence gathering islands. I imagine they'll be everywhere. You know, the Russians will have them, the Chinese will have them. You know, I must be stupid to think that we won't have them. But then when I see Prince Andrew or whatever his name is, Andy Mountbatten, getting caught for, you think, don't you, if our intelligence has missed that, what else are they missing?
I wouldn't. Yeah, is it missing or is it ignoring?
Well, I would imagine if you're a member of the royal family that close, he was once second in line to the throne, the Queen's favourite. I would imagine he's under obs 24/7. Him.
Yeah, but
he's not. There's nowhere he goes where whoever's handling him, whoever's his officer, he'll have a close protection officer. Maybe he hasn't now because he's a bacon, but he will have for a large period of his life. Wherever he goes, even if it's in a room, they'll have gone in the room first, scouted the room out and gone, yeah, go ahead, you can go in there. Or they stood outside the door. Like, they know where he's going. Whether they, you know, they're watching every single thing he does, but they know where he's going. So we have to believe that they've known it's gone on and turned a blind eye to it.
I that's what I believe, yeah.
Well, everybody's obsessed. I don't know whether everyone's going, oh, yeah, Charlie, yeah, what's King Charlie? And I seen he got heckled today in Lancashire. Did you see it?
No.
Charlie Sausageos.
No, Muppet.
Charlie Sausageos was in Lancashire, the Shires of Lanc, up in the north of England, and I think I seen the clip on ITV on TikTok. Somebody shouted, Charlie, where's Andrew? What about the Epstein thing? And then they've all started, all the Karens. It was all white Karens, middle-aged.
The royalists.
All started kicking off at the fella for shouting, now then, bollocks, what about your kid been? You know, 12 million quid of taxpayers' money. Yeah. You know, he's obviously been up to no good, hasn't he? It's a case of the stuff that they can prove he's done is obviously, or he's alleged to have done, is the stuff that they got photographs about. And, you know, was it photoshopped or my hand wouldn't be in that way? I think the most damning thing for him was the interview he did with Emily Maitlis, where she skewers him, where he pretty much says, you know, don't sweat due to something that happened in the Falklands. But then when you think about Charlie Sausagejo, who was his oppo?
Go on.
Jim will fix it.
He was his op.
Savile was always in there. And then you had Lord Mountbatten, who was alleged, that's what David Icke told us, that Lord Mountbatten introduced Savile, Sir Jimothy, State Funeral, Sir Jimothy of, so if you want to be a knight, that's the company you keep, Sir Jimothy of State Funeral Savile, Nonsense Potter. He was introduced and had, you know, he's talked many times, hasn't he, about having carte blanche and taking people into Buckingham Palace, etc. So if being friends with a pedo is getting you kicked out, well, surely Charlie Sausagejo's under severe duress because he's been, you know, up to his, you know, his mentor was Mountbatten, who and obviously Savile and the connection and the photographs with him.
There's
so
no doubt that they're all in the same little ring.
It's peculiar, isn't it? It certainly is very, very peculiar. And again, the Tin Hat Boys, they were, the amount of times I know. Listen, there's some mad stuff that they've come out with over the years. Certainly when you see people burning the 5G mast and that was a bit nuts. But also, there's been loads of stuff they've been right on. They're being proven right a lot of the times. These kind of conspiracy guys, and again, if it's so much. 3 million emails or whatever that or documents on old Jeffrey of Epstein, who, by the way, done himself in.
He's still alive.
Do you reckon he's still alive?
He's still alive. Did you see the thing about his Fortnite account?
Do you reckon he's still alive?
Did you see the thing about his Fortnite account?
I've seen the video doing the rounds in someone saying they spotted someone in Israel with long hair, but it looks like a plant.
It's so AI. Yeah, it's just his face with a beard and a fucking grey hair.
Yeah, I'm like, any passport officer's cut for him.
And this comes out the fucking week that he's all in the news.
So what's this? His Fortnite account?
He had the Fortnite account. I can't remember what it was called, but it's been active. Post his death.
If someone turns your computer on and plays your computer, that you could log in on someone's account.
I know, but I don't know. I think he's alive.
Yeah, but if he had a PlayStation...
He was a serial gamer.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you had a PlayStation and someone turned it on and you just connected it up and you just used that account, you could. It wouldn't prove it's him. It could be anybody using that account.
But I think I think he's alive.
Yeah, I'd need a bit more evidence than someone's using his PlayStation. But again, who was his handlers? I mean, the fact that we don't know about it this far into it, and we also still seeing stuff redacted and people's names kept out of it, says he's obviously been involved in some really, really powerful, influential circles. But will they ever trust us the plebs with all the information? Because
do you think he's still alive?
Epstein? Mm-hmm. No, I think they must have. What's the point in keeping him alive?
Do you think they've killed him off because of the information he had?
Well, if they shot John F. Kennedy dead,
yeah.
And they would. I would imagine Epstein alive offers them nothing but danger as opposed to Epstein dead, because that's a closure. I'm surprised they haven't bumped off Ghislaine Maxwell. But
so what's she still doing?
Well, you don't know whether because if I was in that world, you would have a drop file, wouldn't you, to say, listen, if anything happens mad to me, release this.
Everything's gone. Yeah.
So I would imagine. If she's as sinister and as evil as what we're meant to believe, this madame, she's very high intelligence in terms of power, getting close to power. And her dad's been obviously bumped off because he fell off the back of his boat, didn't he? So they reckon that he was topped by whoever his handlers who didn't agree with him allegedly. Or I don't really want Mossad on my case. I've got enough. Yeah. Got enough enemies without Mossad. Leave that. But Robert Maxwell, obviously falls off the back of a boat in mysterious circumstances, and then the family, I would imagine if she stayed in that world, she will have been in the intelligence, because he was an intelligence officer buried in Israel after his death. So I would imagine if they've kept her in the loop, she must have thought, well, if this can happen to me dad, who was running the Mirror Group and incredibly powerful in British social circles, then this could happen to me. So I will no doubt have to insulate myself against getting the same fate as my dad. And therefore, that's the reason I think she's still alive.
Yeah.
I don't know whether Jeffrey Epstein weren't smart enough to do that. That's why he's, been wiped out.
I think that he was that smart that he's got stuff on that many people that he's being helped to fake his death, and he is definitely still alive.
Is he Ashkenaz Nazi Jew or something like that? Isn't he? So I don't know, because I don't know. I just don't think it's worth them keeping him alive. Do you know what I mean? Where's he going to go?
But maybe he did have that fucking self-destruct button that you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's just easier to just kill him, isn't it? It's easier to just kill him.
But then you've just said there's that thing where if he dies, then everything gets released. If he's got that...
Yeah, but they've obviously killed him. And the reason, they've killed him is the footage disappears and there's all mad stories. Otherwise, it'd have been an easier story. They'd have just made it an easier story. The fact that they've made it as weird as they have says they've bumped them off and they've...
And lost the footage.
No, yeah, on purpose.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so I'm just thinking they've just fucked the job up pretty much.
That makes sense.
Because surely if you're going to rub someone out, you're thinking through, right? If we say this fella's dead, they're going to want to see an evidence trail of it. And obviously we know he's whatever it is, he's connected to the most influential people ever, because we don't know any of the fucking names. And obviously, did you see Lady Victoria? What's her name? The scuzz bucket lady. Lady Cumbucky, what's her name? No. Used to be in Loaded and all that. Back in the day, I think she's a crazy lemo sweet.
No, I don't know.
Harvey, Victoria Harvey, or something like that. She's like, she was apologising pretty much for Prince Andrew and Epstein, and kind of going, well, you know, if you're a bit of a nobody.
Lady Victoria Harvey,
yeah, that's it, yeah. So she was on LBC, yeah, that's it there. Click on that there.
Which one?
LBC, yeah, Facebook.
This one?
She was on there kind of apologising, I think, for Epstein and that, saying pretty much if Epstein, if you're not in the Epstein files, you're a fucking nobody. And then on the same...
Oh, yeah?
On the same,
if you were not in the Epstein files, you were a loser.
You're a loser, yeah.
What?
So she's trying to kind of like say, oh, you know what, like it's fucking... like
to show fame?
But again... I would imagine it'd be the same because Puff Daddy's got a bit of a cloud around him at the minute. So everybody who's had the picture with Puff Daddy will be saying, you know, so... You know, we're not saying everybody.
Don't think so, girl.
No.
Hey, you got us a Diet Coke, please.
We're not saying everybody who's been in Epstein's company is a raving bacon, are we? Is a raving nabons. We're saying, you know, obviously there's been loads in his company. There's probably loads of people that have wanted finance off him or whatever. Now, Elon Musk, I think, had a few like the led by donkeys went with outside SpaceX. Don't know whether you've seen that. They put like a big, you know, the vans with the LED on the side, led by donkeys, which is a bit of a political organisation here. I think it's Labour left, a kind of left thing. I do follow them because they were getting after the Tories in the back end of obviously them unfolding and fucking ruining the country. And they put outside SpaceX Elon Musk's emails where he's saying, when's your wildest party? When can I get over?
Yeah.
Now,
is that real?
I don't know. I presume so, yeah.
I thought it was AI, but...
No, presume so.
Oh, my God.
But again, we know the context of it? Because we go, well, hang on a minute. If he knows he was a beast, why are you asking a known beast to go to a party on his island?
Yeah.
Like, because he's been convicted of being procuring minors or whatever in 2008. So does this predate that? Because then if you go, well, hang on, Elon, if you are the smartest man in the world, have you not fucking known that? Now, he hasn't been, has he? So his argument is, look, I was asking him to go, but he never went.
So he didn't know what was going on, basically.
He could easily say, look, I was putting word out, and then I found out someone's gone, hey, you don't want to go there, you know, he's a fucking wronging him. And you've ended up not going because you've heard someone's gone to you, by the way, he has boss parties, him. Because I'm imagining if I'm a billionaire and someone said, listen, I've got my own island in the Caribbean, and I go there and, you know, I'm single or whatever, and I've got birds. You might be saying that in the 20s or whatever, and they turn out to be, 17 or... Some people would clearly want to go and go, do you know what? Especially if they're rich and famous. Now, the other side of it is, obviously, there's going he's catered. It seems they've catered for whatever by recording everything, and they've basically tailored the people on the island to who's coming in and what they like. And obviously, the more and more compromising the situation they get on these powerful men, the more and more that can be utilised for them to manipulate the financial markets. I think Peter Mandelson, his house got raided. We predicted it. Now we're just fucking pub politicians. Do you know what I mean? We're just pub philosophers. We're just having a gab. We could see the fact that was going to be a huge problem. So we now at this point have to point to, he's been selling, or alleged to have been selling, secrets about, you know, stuff that was meant to be for the benefit of this country to other people to make, you know, financial gain and undermine. You know, it's basically treason, isn't it? It's you know, you're selling our country's secrets for other people to take advantage of. In the midst of that, you know, this fella has politically moved through about 5 cycles. You know, they were calling him the Dark Lord. He's in fingers in his underpants. And Laura Krassenberg, who's the BBC's alleged fucking best interviewee, who tried to spear Andrew Tate, who tried to spear Jordan Peterson and all that, all these right-wing people she gets after, give him a softball interview. And he's in there saying, you know, Epstein kept me out of it. He had buckets of friends. He said he was a fucking strange word Mandelson used, buckets of friends. And he said, you know, because I'm a gay man, I was kept out of that world. And I'm like, what? You using a gay card here?
Yeah, don't.
Like,
fucking hell, mate. Of all places.
Like, he was nicknamed. He's been nicknamed, this fella. Get on this. The Lord of Darkness.
Who's this, sorry?
Peter Mandelson. Yeah. That was his nickname, the Prince of Darkness. So you go,
no, fucking.
Hey, what? So it's like saying, right, oh, fucking
Justin
hell,
Hawkins.
can't believe we've made the child safeguarding minister Nancy McNonspot. What? That's what his nickname is, Nancy Man. Oh, fucking hell. 10 years later, he gets caught nonce and you go, fucking hell, didn't see that coming there. Fucking Nick knows his nickname again. Oh yeah, fucking hell, pretty. So if you don't know, as the leader of the country, that little bit of information, and you haven't got the fucking bandwidth to get outside and go to somebody in intelligence, hey, what's he been up to off the record? Yeah, right, we can't have him anywhere near our government. Never mind US ambassador at a time where Donald Trump will not even let you speak on the podium before the leader of fucking Swaziland. The leader of nonsense Potteryland got 5 minutes on the fucking microphone, and Keir Starmer go, hey, Keir, oh fucking hell, Keir, I forgot about you, come here, and just cough at this custard pie right in the dish now in front of the world.